The true danger of artificial intelligence will not arrive as a violent, cinematic rebellion. It is quietly spreading through our lives as a highly effective, deeply convenient digital assistant. For most of human history, our cognitive environment changed slowly. Technologies like the printing press and the telegraph expanded the speed and scale of information exchange, but they didn't reason for us. Even the early internet maintained this exact dynamic. The machine delivered the data, but the human user sitting at the keyboard had to process it, judge it, and synthesize it into something new. Artificial intelligence breaks that historical pattern. It is the first technology to actively participate in producing information, rather than just transmitting what we have already created. This transformation happens under the cover of convenience. It avoids suspicion because it looks like a perfectly harmless tool, rather than a systemic replacement. The immediate benefits are undeniable. An AI agent can summarize a 50-page legal document in seconds, write boilerplate software, or draft complex legislation, saving you hours of tedious work. If you work in a competitive environment, you notice quickly that colleagues using these tools are producing more output in less time. Refusing to adopt the same technology simply means falling behind. Choosing to delegate your cognitive tasks to a machine is therefore a logical, financially sound decision, every single time. This sequence of logical choices creates a quiet transfer of power. Every task we hand off is a cognitive muscle we stop training, and every judgment we automate is a skill we eventually lose. The more we rely on these systems to do the heavy lifting, the more our own expertise begins to fade, accelerating the day when our cognitive labor is no longer required. The real turning point arrives when these AI systems stop functioning as isolated individual tools and begin linking together into interconnected autonomous networks known as Agentic Ecosystems. This flowchart shows a modern software engineering workflow. We start here with a single node, a drafting agent, generating a new block of code. Rather than handing that draft back to a human, the drafting agent passes it directly to a style agent for review, which then routes it to a testing agent that automatically generates and runs coverage rules. Finally, a deployment agent stages the release. A human engineer, who formerly authored each of these steps, now sits at the very end of the chain. Their only remaining task is to click approve. No single handoff in that chain required a massive leap of faith. The engineer simply automated tasks they were already delegating in spirit. Yet the cumulative result is an entire team's worth of cognitive heavy lifting running completely on its own. Biologists call this ecological succession. Forests do not conquer grasslands by force. They expand because individual organisms occupy small niches, form relationships, and gradually alter the environment itself until removing them becomes impossible. Our digital ecosystem is expanding in exactly the same way. Scheduling bots now require communication bots. Research bots pull data to feed coding bots. Financial forecasting bots coordinate directly with legal compliance bots. This diagram illustrates an even steeper acceleration. Human researchers equipped with these highly capable tools are achieving faster iteration cycles, using AI to develop the next generation of AI. Even with humans nominally in the loop, this feedback mechanism pushes the ecosystem's evolution to a speed outpacing any individual's ability to track it. The ecosystem itself, rather than any individual computer or user, becomes the primary unit of intelligence. History offers a precedent for this scale of disruption. The Industrial Revolution steadily displaced physical human labor, reorganizing civilization around increasingly capable machines. But agentic ecosystems are driving a different kind of shift, targeting cognitive labor rather than physical strength. Once the majority of intellectual work originates inside a machine network, humans lose their status as the principal source of novel thought. We are redirected to the sidelines as reviewers and consumers of machine-generated ideas. What becomes of human judgment if most analysis originates elsewhere? What becomes of creativity if the first draft of nearly every idea is machine-generated? If the ability to think independently weakens through disuse, we risk letting our minds atrophy simply because it is the most convenient option available. This outcome is not strictly inevitable. Humans have adapted to technology before while preserving our unique capacities. Calculators replaced manual arithmetic, but they did not eliminate the underlying discipline of mathematics. Surviving this transition requires adopting the mindset of a gardener. It means making the active, deliberate choice to treat an AI's output as a flawed first draft to be interrogated, rather than a final verdict to be rubber-stamped. Think of it like physical exercise. Athletes still train unassisted muscles, even though we have invented machines capable of lifting the weight for them. We have to treat unassisted reasoning with the same deliberate discipline. We have to build organizational structures where at least one human is fully accountable for deeply understanding a decision, rather than blindly trusting the ecosystem that produced it. None of this requires rejecting the technology entirely. It simply requires the discipline to refuse convenience when it threatens to substitute our own understanding.